General Motors is the latest car maker to feel the pain of President Trump's tariffs. The company says it lost $1.1 billion from its bottom line this past quarter. And this comes as the latest CBS News polls show 60% of Americans oppose new U.S. tariffs, and 61% think the Trump administration is focusing on them too much. Laila Maidan is a reporter for MarketWatch. She's actually been here twice in a couple of weeks, so she's officially a friend of the show, and she joins us now to talk about all this. Good morning, Laila. Great to have you back. Welcome back. Stellantis is also reporting a massive loss. Let's see, $2.7 billion, and they're citing tariffs as a major factor into that. So how significant of a loss amount is this for these U.S. automakers?
Well, it's significant right now, but what we're getting the sense of these automakers are really hoping that this is temporary. And the reason why I say that is because so far they haven't passed on these costs to the consumer. What they've done a little bit is halted production, both GM and Stellantis, to try to avoid taking off on more tariff costs. So that tells us that they're in a wait and see mode, but it's quite substantial. I mean, Stellantis imports 40% of its vehicles into the U.S. They're reporting about $350 million was an impact directly from tariffs. Part of that was the actual tariff costs, but then there were losses from like production halts. Now, Stellantis is expecting that number to double in the second part of the year. GM also, they're expecting about a loss of maybe $5 billion for the rest of the year. So that $1.1 billion for GM is small in comparison to the $5 billion top line that they're projecting as well. But overall, industry data is telling us that general outlook for the industry is that no costs have been passed on to consumers just yet. They've been absorbed by the profit margins of these vehicle companies. But again, we don't know how long they're going to be able to take that on.
And how sustainable is that, I wonder? I want to quickly ask you about this trade deal with Japan the president has announced. It will open its market to U.S.-made trucks and cars. Is that relevant? Do Japanese folks want American-made vehicles?
I don't know, possibly, but what it does do, though, in the U.S. market, it creates sort of an unfair competition. So automakers, Japanese automakers, will have lower tariffs, for example, than other automakers like GM and Stellantis, for example. The deal with Japan is a 15% reciprocal tariff, and so that is as opposed to 25% that we're seeing from Canada and Mexico, which if there's not a deal struck by August 1st, we can see those tariffs go up even higher for automakers that are not Japanese automakers. So you're going to see costs, maybe potentially cost pressures on companies like GM, and then a cost reduction on vehicles like Toyota or Nissan or any vehicles that we import from Japan. So that's creating a little bit of that unfair competition.
Well, we'll keep watching this closely, and that means you have an open invite to come back and tell us about what this looks like later on. Laila Maidan, thank you very much.